My wife told me she wasn't happy and needed space, so I gave it to her. Turns out she just wanted to cheat without guilt. Now that I've moved on, she's begging me to come back. But I'm already gone. Ethan always believed his marriage was strong. Sure, there were ups and downs. Every relationship had them. But he never once questioned Olivia's happiness. They had built a life together, filled with shared laughter, late-night talks, and quiet, comfortable silences. So when Olivia sat him down at the kitchen table one evening, nervously twisting her wedding ring, he immediately knew something was wrong. "I just don't feel happy anymore," she said softly. Ethan's stomach dropped. The words felt like a blade, sharp and precise. "What do you mean?" he asked, searching her face for answers. She looked away, sighing. "I don't know, I just feel different." No fight, no accusations, just those words, vague and empty. He tried to understand. Was she overwhelmed with work? Had he done something wrong? Was there something missing? "I don't get it," he admitted. "Are you saying you don't love me anymore?" "I just need time," she said. Time. The word felt like a death sentence, but Ethan refused to give up. Over the following weeks, he fought for their marriage. He planned romantic evenings, showered her with affection, reminded her of the love they had built. But no matter what he did, Olivia only grew more distant. And then one day, Ethan realized something. He was the only one fighting. So for the first time, he let go. At first, nothing seemed different. Olivia still came home late, still spent hours on her phone, still seemed distracted. But Ethan no longer chased after her. And that's when things started to change. She began to notice his silence. She started texting him during the day, asking where he was. She seemed irritated when he didn't come home on time, even though she had been the one who asked for space. One evening, she hesitated in the doorway as he read a book. "You've been really distant lately," she said. Ethan glanced up, then shrugged. "I'm just giving you the space you wanted." For the first time, he saw something unexpected in her eyes, worry. She had expected him to beg, to fight for her. But he was moving on, and she wasn't ready for that. At first, she convinced herself he was just upset. But as time passed, she started panicking. She asked if he still loved her. She brought up old memories, the ones she once dismissed. That's when Ethan realized something was off. Olivia wasn't just feeling regret. She was hiding something. One night, as Olivia stepped into the kitchen to grab a drink, she left her phone on the table. Ethan wasn't snooping, but when the screen lit up, he couldn't look away. A message. "I miss you. When can I see you again?" His chest tightened. His hands curled into fists. It all made sense now. She hadn't wanted space. She had wanted options. Ethan sat there, staring at the screen, understanding everything in a single, crushing moment. She hadn't been lost. She had been looking for something else, while keeping him as a safety net. And now that she realized he wasn't waiting for her anymore, she was afraid of losing everything. But she already had. That night, he didn't confront her. He didn't need to. His mind was made up. Ethan stopped making an effort. He stopped trying to fix what Olivia had already broken, and she felt it. One evening, as he was getting ready to leave, Olivia stood in the doorway, watching him nervously. "Where are you going?" she asked. "Out," he replied simply. She swallowed hard. "With who?" He smirked. "Why do you care?" Her face fell. I don't want us to fall apart." Ethan let out a hollow laugh. "We didn't fall apart, Olivia. You walked away. And now I'm doing the same." Her breath hitched. She reached for him, desperation creeping into her voice. "Please," she whispered. "I don't want to lose you." Ethan looked at her one last time. "You already did." And with that, he walked out the door. She stood there, frozen, trapped in the moment she could never undo. She would text. She would call. She would try to fix what she shattered. But he would never answer. Because for the first time in a long time, Ethan was finally free. Ethan walked out that night and never looked back. But that didn't mean Olivia let him go so easily. At first, she flooded him with messages. I miss you. Can we talk? Please, Ethan. He ignored them all. He had already wasted enough time on someone who never truly valued him. Then came the calls, late at night, early in the morning. Desperate, tearful voicemails that he refused to listen to. And then silence. For the first time in a long time, Ethan felt peace. But peace wasn't the same as healing. In the weeks that followed, Ethan focused on himself. He went to the gym, picked up old hobbies, reconnected with friends he had neglected during his marriage. At first, it felt empty, like he was just going through the motions. But slowly, he started to rediscover himself. He wasn't just Olivia's husband. He was his own person. And the more he embraced that, the stronger he felt. Until Olivia showed up at his door. She looked different, tired, anxious. Not at all the confident woman who once asked for space. I made a mistake, she said, and her voice cracking. Ethan leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. Which part? Wanting space? Or cheating on me? She flinched. I wasn't thinking clearly. I got lost. But I love you, Ethan. I always have. He laughed, shaking his head. No, Olivia. You loved having me, until I stopped chasing you. Her eyes filled with tears. Please, can we just talk? There's nothing left to say. And for the first time, Olivia truly looked like she understood. He closed the door in her face. A few months passed. Life moved forward. Then one evening his phone rang. It was an unknown number. Ethan? A hesitant voice asked. He frowned. Who's this? A pause. Then, it's him. The guy Olivia cheated with. Ethan nearly hung up. But something made him stay on the line. I thought you should know, the man continued. She tried to do the same thing to me. Ethan listened in silence as the man explained. She got bored, he admitted. Said she needed space. I didn't fight for her. Then she came running back, acting like I was everything she ever wanted. But it felt off, so I left. Ethan exhaled slowly. He had once been in that same place, believing Olivia's words, clinging to the idea of what they used to have. But now, hearing it from someone else, it only confirmed what he already knew. She was never looking for love. She was looking for validation. And when she didn't get it, she spiraled. That night, Ethan did something he hadn't done since leaving Olivia. He looked at an old photo of them together. Once, that picture had represented happiness, a future, love. Now it was just a reminder of how blind he had been. And for the first time, he felt nothing. Not anger, not pain, not regret. Just freedom. Ethan moved forward. He started dating again, not because he needed someone, but because he was finally open to the idea of real love. He met someone who didn't play games, who didn't need to be chased, who didn't need to test his love to believe in it. It felt different. And that's how he knew it was real. One day, as he was walking through town with his new girlfriend, he saw Olivia. She stopped in her tracks, eyes widening in shock. Ethan simply nodded, giving her a polite but detached smile. She looked like she wanted to say something, to run to him, to beg for another chance. But she didn't. Because for the first time, she knew it wouldn't work. She had lost him for good. One day, as he was walking through town with his new girlfriend, he saw Olivia. She stopped in her tracks, eyes widening in shock. Ethan simply nodded, giving her a polite but detached smile. She looked like she wanted to say something, to run to him, to beg for another chance. But she didn't. Because for the first time, she knew it wouldn't work. She had lost him for good.